My girlfriend's dad is a 53-year-old electrical engineer who has never seen the game League of Legends before, but he predicted more correctly than two of our analysts, the winners of this series so far. So shoutouts to Lou for predicting Barrage to come up, currently 2-1 over NoOrg.
You're missing the best part. He didn't even need to see the gameplay. He didn't need to see the draft. He looked at the team names. He went, Barrage? They'll win this series.
It's more fun. He looked at the player names. He was like, always playing a heh. Perfect. That's my guy. And he was right.
So far. Barrage.
So far.
2-1 tournament point. Maybe about to deny 5Fire his second Challengers Uprising title. They are one game away from being our Cup Season 2 champions, but we aren't there yet. They've won 2 consecutive games off the back of stellar team fighting. NoOrg have still demonstrated they have the capacity to outplay them in the macro. And that may be what this series comes down to. We're heading into the draft for Game 3, Matt.
I'm trying to think about what I want to see here from both of these teams, because I feel like Barrage have shown at this point that they can play on almost anything. If you're going to ban anything out that you haven't been banning before, maybe the Aatrox for PCL, because that definitely is one of his big comfort picks. But I think it really comes down to find a way to disrupt Barrage from finding their one team fight of the game, from which they only win team fights for the rest of the game.
I was really curious what would be on the NoOrg ban list this time. So far, the Hecarim Orianna duo banned out. The mid-Galio banned out. NoOrg, you can't ban all of the team fights. What's the third slot? It's got to be Seraphine, right? Are they going to let Seraphine through?
No, there's no way you let Seraphine through. But the fact that they're deliberating
But they can't let Nocturne Rel through. And they're not going to pick Nocturne, so they have to ban Rel.
It's got to be Seraphine.
Oh,
yeah. I think
took him a while,
that
though.
first pick over to Barrage. Because, like, Barrage are so good at team fights, right?
If this isn't B1 Rel, it's B1 Rel. Yeah, real easy. Okay, so 1-2. I would make this a bot lane. I would be looking to steal away the Kai'Sa here. Because you don't want to give them Kai'Sa Rel again. And indeed, that is what NoOrg are up to. Get rid of that Kai'Sa, and then I suppose you don't need to immediately follow through with support. I think I'm looking for something like Alistar here over on NoOrg, but they can pick that whenever. Turning your attention towards the top side or mid lane. Or indeed, grabbing Anda his Udyr.
Yeah, they really prioritize these jungle picks for usually both teams, but it's been interesting today seeing the difference from Barrage, because if I recall correctly, last series yesterday in the semifinals, they were just picking B1 jungle every single time for Fnatic, but today they are really highly valuing this Rel
except for the Orianna.
Yes. it was literally, okay, we figured out that APA is doing great on Orianna. That's our first pick for the rest of the series. You're pointing the wrong way. The Nocturne! We got it again. I'm really excited for this.
Really excited to Nocturne Rel. We do not get APAs. Oh, I really needed APAs A-Soul in my life, and we do not get it.
I know. I've wanted to cast it so badly. I heard, hey, in NA Amateur, there's this mid laner who's known for playing Aurelion Sol, and it's banned out every single series. I was so in. That's actually why I started casting this tournament. And I still have not seen it. APA, I blame you for this. You need to do a show match for me on A-Soul or something.
Season 1, you played a game of A-Soul and won. We casted that.
Did we?
Yes, Season 1, Week 3, I want to say.
I'm selectively forgetting it so that APA will have to play it again.
Okay. Rel, Nocturne does come through again. You get a Xayah in the bot lane for a little bit of disengage from Gorica. That will need to be a more valuable Xayah than we saw for value, than we are used to seeing. Normally Xayah is kind of Ezreal 2. Disengage AD carry that can support some roaming. I want to see Gorica do a little bit more than that in order to come out on top. 5Fire will grab the Azir on his own side. I said Alistar. Can I be right again?
Sure. I want this for you, TJ. I want you to be right.
Thanks. Yeah!
Look at that. Look at how right you are. I will say the Xayah, I think, is a better pick this time for Barrage because in NoOrg's case, the Nocturne was counterpicked into it, which means you have CC that can go through the Featherstorm. That is not the case here this time, and Gorica will be incredibly safe when in that Featherstorm, give it a chance to reposition. And I would argue this is one of the best carries with which to reposition outside of that Kai'Sa.
You're not doing it to me again. I'm not getting hyped up over
No,
Hover.
not getting baited.
Nope. This Nico would be pretty sick as well, though. It does come through. Was it during our prep session today that I said, damn, I want to see APA's Nico?
Yeah, it was.
So there you go.
Because we found it the first series, and then Barrage never hovered or picked it, and we were like, okay, I guess APA doesn't play Nico anymore. But now we've got it.
Yeah, so APA's Nico here is a lot of fun because it bridges the line between utility and damage pick. The Nico can be a hard carry, but it can also be a little bit more utility focused depending on what the series needs. And that is what I need from APA. APA needs that flexibility to either play the macro game or be, hey, I'm the damage dealer in this fight. Get out the way. If we got Ornn Renekton just for old time's sake, it would blast from 2020. I can maybe go get a haircut. Feel real good.
I am interested to see what's picked into this. So it's going to be Jason to Renekton. I understand that in theory this could work out. I am worried though. Viper has been playing a lot of ranged top laners and has been playing them incredibly effectively into melees. So I'm going to say if there's any top laner in the league that can pull this off, it is Viper. However, when you're playing into something like a Renekton that is such an early game bully, if you are not spacing exactly perfectly, you are going to get absolutely blasted out of lane.
However, onto your however, Viper's Jace is really good. Viper's Jace is capable of making this happen, and that gives me hope. If Viper is able to get out to an early lead here, this is the kind of top lane pick that you can carry through. I'm getting distracted because my dog is about to pull over my microphone.
That would be bad.
We do also, on this team, have the Kai'Sa Alistar bot lane, though, so there are multiple different carries threats for NoOrg. They can kind of play this by feel. If Viper gets a stellar start, go with the normal game plan. Play through Viper, get that Jace ahead, win the game. But if Viper struggles a bit, put the money into the values Kai'Sa, and you can work out on top there. I like this draft more than any draft that NoOrg has put to table so far, including the game they won. I think this is their best draft yet. It gives them teamfight presence, it gives them lane dominance depending on what works. They have multiple different win conditions, and that is necessary for a team that is repeatedly being taken late and out-team fought. Barrage on the opposite side are same as ever, dead set on winning the team fights and making them loud.
This series has been brought to the championship point by Barrage Esports, the underdogs of Amateur and this series. And now this game will decide whether NoOrg's dreams end here or if they can potentially take a shot at the championship.
Here we go. Barrage, as you say, on championship point. Can we call it mug point? Because it's a cup.
Because cup.
Yeah.
I was like, are you saying they robbed them?
Okay, so some inside baseball. Hopefully I won't get yelled at for sharing this. The game plan for Season 1 was to have a LAN finals for Cup. And obviously with the pandemic, the things fell through. And I don't know if we'll ever get that opportunity again. It was a confluence of things that made it possible for Season 1. But if we do, if Cup ever has the opportunity to have a LAN final, I want to give people a mug as our trophy.
Yes, has to be. Oh, Viper's in trouble. The flash forward, the flash out. Indeed, Viper is going to survive that. APA, unfortunately, flashless after that, but maybe PCL can capitalize on this. It makes that spacing all the more important. That's the get out of jail free card gone.
Yep, Viper blowing flash right out the gate's important. Would have been nicer if they'd been able to find something, and APA burned their flash as well, so it's not an objective win, but in summary.
Thank you, TJ, for that hard-hitting analysis of meh.
Eh. Hey, you know, Big's name is Big, and every single time I look at his name, I still think to myself, Big T.
So do I. It has been a constant struggle. Every time we have cast No Org, I'm like, it's not Big T. It's not Big T. It's just Big. But there's a T. I just like to imagine whatever champion he's playing just like blowing up to 30 times size and T-posing.
Big T in for the dominance. We'll be staying bot side, Anda and 5fire meet in the mid lane. Some early jungle invades from Anda, yielding Raptor camp, not much more. They do have some extra vision in there as well.
Yeah, they should be able to spot Fnatic regardless of what exit he chooses to get out of the jungle, unless it goes directly to mid lane. So bot lane's going to be incredibly safe here from the side of No Org. And APA, this Nico is working out.
Yeah, APA able to bully 5fire early on is a good sentence to say. 5fire spent all of Season 1 and most of Season 2 so far blowing out lane after lane. And APA's been able to take him even most of these games, beat him during game number 3.
Speaking of blowing out lanes, TJ, top lane, 19 CS lead from Viper. Just beautiful wave control. Crashing multiple waves in at once, so PCL is going to be down at the very minimum 1 wave, I suspect, too. And this is a much harder counter lane than I had anticipated. I was thinking, you know, if PCL ever gets the chance to dive onto Viper, that's pretty much the end of it. PCL will get a little bit of pressure back in lane. Sure, we'll still be behind a little bit in farm just because of the inherent weaknesses of melee into range, but my god, Viper's been spacing perfectly.
Yeah, and this is what we've seen from Viper previously. If Viper's having a good Matt, help. If Viper's having a good game, they just don't make mistakes, and that is the consistent metric from them, especially on characters like Jace. If we see a damn good Jace game out of Viper, then you have 2 win conditions on the Rift, as we talked about for No Org. They can win through that top side. They also still have value and Big in the bottom lane. Speaking of,
Big and Winter both roaming up here. APA falls incredibly quickly. 5fire getting that first blood.
Very well done. Big shows up. 5fire finds the execute, and No Org have themselves another first blood. This time, though, it is going to the right place. You can see how their draft has really paid off. TP will be coming in here as Big's in trouble. Anda for the stun.
Finds it. Winter flashes over the wall. APA still has the stun, but Fear comes out. Not gonna land
follows.
Fnatic. 5fire still pumping out damage. Fnatic
Double!
falls. The double kill for 5fire. APA being chased down now. Stunned up, but will not fall.
Does find Anda. Finds a little more damage. They won't chase any further. 5fire blows this game wide open. That is 3 kills to No Org's star mid laner right when they need it, when they are up against elimination.
This sure is a reversal, TJ.
Oh!
We've not been seeing.
He's
oh my
scoped.
god. He's too clean. APA
What?
doesn't find the route onto 5fire. Nearly does. Gorik is here on the roam. They need to find some CC, some slow on a 5fire. There it is. The shutdown coming out from APA.
He sold me! APA sold me on the bait! I was completely caught up by the clone! APA managed to sidestep the Emperor's Divide. 5fire pays for it with his life. And No Org but get a shutdown on that star mid laner immediately after he starts off.
I was low-key thinking, oh god, APA really messed up, but I shouldn't call it out during the play. See it come out. I don't want to bully the players. That's never nice. And then APA just bullies me. Convinces me that he's dead.
Legitimately,
it's like, hey nerd, remember me? It's APA from high school.
I play mid lane now. I'm so caught up in just the awareness and the reaction time of APA to recognize how to bail himself out of that situation. 5fire executed a real clean dive there and just wasn't able to get anything from it. That's gotta sting. I don't think it changes the overall balance of power though. No Org are still winning across the map. even with this stun and very narrow escape from Viper.
I was so sure that was going to be enough damage with the amp turret. Oh my god, Viper barely surviving. What a sick top laner. This is why PCL's been struggling. Viper's just that good.
Viper, on like 1 HP, is staying in lane.
No dash for 11 seconds, but PCL finds it. Fnatic was there for the gank too and just doesn't have paranoia now. Just like, I thought, but... Oh no, now the paranoia would be helpful. Oh no.
Yeah.
And is going to try and find this up. There's no TPs left on the map, so this is up to PCL to find out of. There's the stun. I don't think he has, he does. Okay.
Nice. Slice and dice to get away. I have not recovered from Viper diving in and doing a real good until PCL got up an auto attack.
I honestly still haven't gotten over the bait from APA. Just the level. Just like Oscar level acting, because the only way you sell that is if you full right click and just stop touching. Stop touching the keyboard. And APA was like, you know what? Unshakable. Diamond hands. I'm not going to touch anything on this keyboard.
And that was like 3 chaotic and sick plays ago. So there you go. Cup finals delivering as ever. Currently Barrage did lose the early game quite massively, but are edging things back with a series of picks. APA, like we talked about in mid, PCL, as you just saw in the top side.
Now, recovering from all that, TJ. We have both objectives being started up here. Dragon on the bottom side of the map by Barrage. No shock there. They love and prioritize this objective so highly. And Anda picking up the Rift Herald. I think this is a trade both teams are really happy with. NoOrg really love putting priority in the top lane there for Viper. And Barrage always want that Dragon, always want to pressure Soul.
Bot lane shove will be coming in from Gorica and Winter. Fnatic lurking nearby that.
No,
I don't think they're interested in pressing it too much. This was just Barrage ensuring themselves a Drake and trying to maintain wave control afterwards.
Fire has not made a dent in a little while, and that's not a criticism of Fire. More a recognition of how strong his early game was and the fact that Barrage have stabilized. Yeah. Because it was really kill after kill after kill after kill for a little bit there. And Fire was picking up every single one of them. Now Barrage have found their way back into this game. They're only behind 800 gold.
And as we talked about, NoOrg do have multiple threats to play off of. This was a really good draft from them. I will hold to that. Fire is off to a strong start. You also have Viper, who I think is probably about even with that kill against PCL. Probably a slight advantage. And then in the bot lane, you also have Value, who is currently leading in CS and will outscale in terms of teamfight damage the Xayah. So across the board, NoOrg have a lot of different things that Barrage need to shut down. Now, Barrage do have the teamfight threat of APA, and then of course the Nocturne Rel combo. And that is what NoOrg need to worry about. As we crest this 10-minute mark, you need to start looking towards the upcoming teamfights, towards this upcoming engagement in the top lane, and wondering what Barrage can do with it.
There goes the paranoia, looking on to Viper. Should be able to find the assassination. He's barely alive. Finally gets taken down by Winter of all people. PCL still up, finds the Call the Meek for the heal. Anda dives back in, trying to find Fnatic. There goes Value. Killer Instinct into the back of the fight. PCL knocked down, and now NoOrg have turned the fight all the way around. A double kill, no, a triple kill for Value.
And that is the Value that NoOrg were looking for. A terrifying Kai'Sa emerges from the bloodbath in the top lane, and NoOrg can now advance across the map with options to win every single fight as APA is denied an ultimate by Fire. This has got the making of a beautiful solo kill as he flashes over the route map. Flashes over it.
Oh my god. This game is delivering another banger on our hands. 4-1-0 for 5fire, who is proving dominant in the mid game. And they even found a way to get value fed on the exact opposite side of the map off this fight.
Stun up will happen at the very start of this. Winter obviously didn't expect the rest of the team to be here, but he takes the front lines beautifully with the Magnet Storm, and that looks good. And then Valya just shows up. Killer Instinct in, detonates PCL. Big gets huge credit there, I think, for his AoE stun, and that gets Anda out. The Pulverize buys the space for everything else to go their way. Then, check this. A sequence of the coolest stuff I have ever seen 5fire do. Dive in, deny the Pop Blossom. Right on the edge of it, turn back round, engage, very low, but sees the root coming as he steps out of the bush, flashes over it, and finds the kill.
He's so good, man. He's just so unfairly good. APA played that well as well, but that was really just 5fire playing it perfectly, and APA's kit could not compensate. Any mistake from 5fire, he very likely would have just gotten blown up by APA.
Yeah. How do you win a fight when your opponent literally makes the optimal choice at every single opportunity and then executes it flawlessly?
Yeah.
When your opponent makes no mistakes whatsoever, there is nothing to exploit.
God, no order good. But Barrage, we still haven't seen a full 5v5 fight. I want to slow down the pace of the game a little bit and just take a step back and say, yes, Barrage are behind much more than they were before. It's a 4K gold deficit for them. But their last fight was essentially like a 3 or 4v4. I think it was actually like a 3v4. And this is obviously not what they want. The rotation was not coming up from bot lane in time from Gorica. And then Gorica ended up still top, farming it up as best they can. And not yet have Barrage had the chance to do the Barrage thing. Here it is.
Stun up. Fnatic will be able to get another kill to APA. 5fire fools again in the mid lane. And this is starting to look very doable for Barrage. Yes, they do need to worry about 5fire and value, but they still have their own threat, and that is going to be the Nocturne Rel combo.
That's what we've been waiting for. It's what you highlighted in draft as the big playmaking potential for this team. They've finally gotten to execute on it. But Anda going for the Dragon, there's no vision on this. There's no sense of this from the side of Barrage. They will lose out on that early soul point, which is, I think, one of the ways that they really wanted to win this game. Unfortunately for them, no org are good. I've highlighted a lot through the tournament. We used to see a lot of soul fights where someone would get 3 uncontested Dragon. It's like, well, we either lose the Dragon or we lose the Baron. We kind of have to pick. This time, Barrage will not be able to rely on that pressure.
So, Barrage now need to find other opportunities for the 5v5, like we were talking up. They do have real good team fight coordination when they're on point. And we did see that point, the tip of the spear, as it were, during game number 2 and 3 of this series.
I'm also impressed by no org at this point, because you'd think when you take one game, you're feeling good, and then immediately you start getting swept out 2 games in a row. A lot of teams' mental would falter, but I'm really impressed by no org's ability to still have clean comms, clean goals, and be executing on their plays just as well as game number 1.
We did get a split push here. If you're curious, it was APA doing so. And as 5fire steps up, APA goes for the 1v1. Underneath turret, calls in his buddy. Yes, you can burst divide away one, but Fnatic will find the kill nonetheless. 5fire ticks down. Fnatic with a sliver of HP will yet again shut down the no-org mid lane.
I'm still not sure how this pick was supposed to go well into the Azir. I suspect once we see the Zonias come out, things will change because you can just Zonias before the push comes out, and the Pop Blossom will go off nonetheless. But until then, it is really looking rough for APA in these 1v1 engages with all abilities up.
Yep. Turret trade does come through, bot lane for mid. Minions getting the bot lane 1 for Barrage, but they take those, they set up for it, so I will credit them with the 1-for-1 trade. No org can't be too pleased with only getting 1 turret for that Rift Herald, but it does sure mean that Barrage's map control is pushed further and further back. They are by no means out of this game, but No Org do have a sizable lead, and where that lead is that I'm most concerned about is in that bot lane. Value, I think, is someone we're sleeping on because that bot lane hasn't been too exciting. But come these team fights, that Kai'Sa is going to be a necessary target. If Value is not shut down by Fnatic's ultimate, by Fnatic's dive, No Org will eventually win the team fight.
And it's a really weird dichotomy that's set up here because Fnatic need to be able to just full CC Value before anything else happens in the team fight. Because if you CC Value, he doesn't die, and another CC goes off somewhere else in the team fight, there's the killer instinct. Value gets away scot-free, as opposed to the Xayah, who's relatively immobile. This is why these team fights are going to be harder for Barrage, but they're not impossible. There's still the stride breaker to get in onto those targets. You can maybe even dive into 5-fire if the opportunity presents itself, as we saw in the bottom lane. So not all hope is lost, but it's definitely a more difficult ask here for this Nocturne.
5-fire is here at the top side, shoving forward across the map. No Org are trying to build wave control, exploit their gold advantage, deny Barrage the opportunity to take 5v5s, just basically shove in at all lanes simultaneously. And this is a playstyle that, if you remember from yesterday's semi-final of Solafida versus Barrage, works very well against the team.
I'm still holding out hope here for Barrage, because I want to see them find the 5v5, find those picks to get themselves back into the game. But the problem so far has been Fnatic's been starved out by Anda. 5-fire's been doing great in these fights. Value rotated up, of course, for that triple kill in the top lane, which has just sent their value soaring. Has the Gale Force Collector combo already for that assassination potential. So it's a confluence of factors that is really, really rough here for Barrage.
Drake is up. Here come No Org. This is the benefit of all that wave pushing they were just doing. It is real easy to control the jungle and turn towards their second Drake of the game. An Infernal, which would make their already existent item advantage a little bit more scary.
Uh-oh.
They're scared of the Baron.
No, they spotted Winter and Fnatic going in for a response. They wanted to take away the red buff, push towards the top tower as a response to the dragon. Looks like they kind of get neither, because 5-fire's just soloing the dragon down bot, and Anda and the rest of No Org rotated up to stop them. So Barrage being put further and further behind as the game goes on, and No Org maintain their gold lead.
Also, I said it was an Infernal Drake, and I literally don't know how, because it was very visibly a Mountain Drake.
You said the only Drake that cannot possibly occur this game.
Right. I don't know.
Sometimes it happens like that, man.
Apparently. I didn't know about those, but discovering the attack today. Okay, so No Org did get the Drake. No Org do deny the pressure from Barrage. Barrage are focused around that Baron, and considering what more they can get. I think forcing a fight around the Baron quicker rather than later is their best hope.
I mean, they have to force it really quick, though, because Viper is about to hit that full transform of the Muramana. That is going to make things a lot more difficult in these fights, because Viper's going to be able to put out a lot of damage. And Viper has kind of been doing his job this game. Sure, you want to see that Jace, like, crush lane and everything, but all he really needs to do is keep PCL busy. Like, the rest of the map is already winning. All you need to do is that Jace is not lose, keep your towers vaguely healthy. And that's what's happened. Only lost one tower, has scaled up, has the Muramana transform. Everything's looking up for Viper now.
And again, the focus ought to be Value during these fights. Can Barrage kill Value?
Everfrost down. Gorica has been tagged by the Void Seeker. Winter goes in onto the back line. Fire, the Pop Blossom finds him! Gorica finds the kill. The answer is out. PCL into the back lines. But it looks like Barrage is starting to turn it. Viper finds an assassination onto APA. Gorica falls, and value is massive. The double kill into the back line. And only 2 members remaining on the side of Barrage. Scratch that, just Winter. And No Org win the fight.
Yeah, Barrage focus fire entirely on 5 fire here, which does not pay dividends. They're too scared to go in on value lest he blow his killer instinct and just leave them behind. Here it is. Nocturne ultimate spent, full engage onto 5 fire. 5 fire stasis is shut down successfully. The combo works, but they leave value up. And value plus Viper is more than enough to turn this team fight back over. Viper dives the backline, gets rid of APA. Value just free autos the entire time, never under threat, as they're protected safely by Big and Amda from PCL's dive.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Big and Anda just played the pitch-perfect peel game going on in the backlines there, because there was never a situation where Value didn't have 2 people between them and the entirety of Barrage. If anyone dared dive that far back, they would get double stunned up, knocked away, I don't know, Phoenixed on, burnt ever slightly. I don't think he does all that much damage. But it's the back of these fights where Value can sort of spread his wings and just free fire into the backline, as we saw. 5-0-2 now. I think Value is too big to fail.
Much like the American banking system, there's nothing that can be done to stop Value now, no matter how much damage he causes. That turret in the mid lane will fall. This inhibitor will be focused down as well. And I don't think Barrage have any way to get to him. As you've said, all eyes should be on Fnatic and Value as we get into this.
Massive inflation in the gold lead as well. 10k up here for No Org. There goes the engage. Fnatic into the backline onto Viper, but will not find enough damage. Knocked out of there as 5 fire goes in. Value's into the backline, finds a kill onto Gorica. There goes the carry. APA cannot pop any further, and that is the fight and the game coming in for No Org.
And that's huge, Mac. You know why? That means game 5. 2 nights in a row. No Org are looking real good. They actually may take a while to end here, but they are going to bring us all the way to game 5 as they tied this series 2-2. They're able to deny Barrage their critical team fights, play across the map, leverage their macro, leverage multiple win conditions off the back of a stellar draft, and that earns them a victory.
Barrage may be able to fight back in the next game, but for the meantime, No Org play through their win conditions, like you said, perfect in the mid lane. Wait, spawn timers! If they had enough time, there's no way. Only with this team composition, with the slowest turret taking in the world, can this occur. All right, our bad guys.
No, hold to it. I don't think the game result is
game's still
change,
over,
right?
but
No Org don't manage to tie things up in a bow there. Then we'll give Barrage a last hurrah. There's a 10k gold gap at this time, so don't get your hopes up. But Barrage do get a free Drake out of No Org's little blunder. Consolation prize.
denies them the soul point, but again, as you were kind of alluding to, I don't know how much it helps at this point.
Yeah,
nearly a naked Nexus.
Yep, and here comes the show. This will be through the top side, currently from No Org. They would like to get a guaranteed turret for free, and they certainly will.
Pushing in a little bit further here. Don't really have any contests. Fnatic is still on the bottom side of the map. Has Paranoia available if they want to make one last-ditch stand, but we've seen how that goes. I don't think they have much other choice, though.
Yep, focus Value. It's been 2 fights in a row. Value has been allowed to free fire. Here's the engage. APA already low. A deep dive. Value is in trouble, and Value's able to kite it just fine. Viper shuts down Fnatic. PCL in the meantime is holding on the front lines, but is Value and Viper able to arrive at the fight proper? There is nobody who can stand their combined focus. And Matt, that will be it, as No Org are able to shut down game number 4, and yes, take us all the way to game 5 in our grand finals. Cue up the silver scrapes. For the first time in Challengers Uprising history, our grand final series is going all the way.